How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Lazy Octopus Gaming Hot Pop Podcast, our main podcast here at Lazy Octopus Gaming. It's episode 2. We actually did a second episode, guys. Oh my god.
Oh my
Two's
god.
my favorite number.
It
really
is.
is.
Okay. It's
Tw-
even.
It is even.
That's why I picked it. I remember in second grade, I picked it deliberately. I was like, someone asked me my favorite number, and I had to make it up on the spot. And I'm like, 2, because it's even.
It's even, but it is second place. It'll never be first, but it will be close.
But second's the best.
Very close. Second is great. So, anyways, like I said, I'm Matt. For those of you who watched last week, you can find me online at Darth_Pertinax on Twitter. You can find all of us at Lazy Octopus Game on Twitter. We're also Lazy Octopus Gaming on YouTube. Check us out. I'm pretty certain I figured out how to get this up on iTunes, so we're going to start getting these up on the podcast services. I'll give you more information about that next week. I'll also make some notices on the Twitter, maybe on YouTube, wherever we can kind of get that information out. But you guys don't care about that back-end stuff, do you? I know Thomas and Frola don't.
I do.
Do you guys want to say hi?
Yeah, I like back end stuff, homie.
So
I like. You like back-end stuff, Thomas?
Wait, no.
He just loves that so much. No, Thomas?
That was a phrasing issue.
Phrasing. We still doing phrasing. But anyways, my co-hosts, because they are not going to actually introduce their names, we have Andrew, who we all call Frola. Frola, say hi.
Hello.
And then Thomas, of course, who likes back-end stuff. Thomas?
Hey, what's up? It's me. I like back end stuff in regards to what Matt was saying earlier. That is all.
That's all. Nothing else. Nothing else. So for those of you that were interested or are interested, our trip to the water park over the weekend was fantastic. We record these on Wednesdays
Success.
usually, so it's 6:27 we're recording this. But over the weekend it was busier than last time, sadly.
Last time we still got a surprising amount of things.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff in. It was busier, but it was not unpleasantly busy. It was still a good day.
Yeah, the worst part was, for those of you who've been Raging Waters, the speed slides, one of the two of them, the water brake, kept breaking down or like shutting off. So they kept turning it off the course of the day, and that's usually a really fast slide. You can just do a bunch of times, and it's a fun, really fast slide, but they kept turning it off. Yeah, it's probably the best one. It kept turning off, so the line would then go really slow and back up, which sucked.
Yeah, but at least, well, depending on what your opinion is on the left side or the right side, they have the freaky side on all day. But then I like that side. But that's also the freaky side. I don't know.
Well, that's the one that has two like big drops, but they're bigger drops, whereas the other side that kept bringing down has 3 drops, but each one's smaller. So you kind of go a little more out of control on the 3-drop one.
The 3-drop one freaks me out because I always get going side to side, and it's just I feel like I'm gonna go right out the top.
Well, I think that's exactly the point. You're supposed to be freaking out there.
You need a little bit of fear in life.
I think the best ride is those speed slides. My favorite there is still by far the roller coaster one, which I can never remember, the Aqua Rocket. That's an amazing marvel of technology, and we should all be glad that we live in this timeline, at least in regards to this. Yeah, it has.
It is a pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet in the way that it works, I should say. It is. I don't know how it works. It's like magic, dude.
It's fucking black magic. It's like Frola's girlfriend with her wigs, just black fucking magic.
Black magic.
They're goddamn wizards. They're wizards. No,
This is a black
keep the wizards
fucking
away.
magic, which is a different thing than black magic. Just so for everyone who was confused about
Yes,
that.
black magic's fire, blizzard, thunder. Black fucking magic, though, that is when a water slide, you go up a water slide.
Yeah, dude,
with
you go
force.
down a drop and then you go up a hill that's higher than the drop. It breaks physics, dude. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how to do it either.
So crazy. I really want to look it up, honestly, but I feel like that'll take away the whimsy.
I feel like it's an air hockey table. Okay, sorry, this is a weird tangent. Let's get. Sorry about
No,
that.
it's fine.
We
It's
are
not a
the
big deal.
lords of tangent.
It's not a big deal in the slightest. Slightest. Don't
The
slide.
hill on a roller coaster, and the hill that you go up is higher than the hill that you just went down, and it's a water slide, and it's not a roller coaster. You're like,
Don't-
what the hell? How did that
Is it
happen?
okay? Isn't at California Adventure the roller coaster with the loop, which I can remember the name of?
Oh,
Doesn't that one? Isn't the second
Screamin'.
Screamin'? Isn't the second drop bigger than the first drop?
Scream and
I don't know
semen.
if I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest, but it's a power launch, so it doesn't break any laws
Yeah,
of
and
physics.
I think it catches you and then like clinks up, clink, 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 clink before it drops you the big drop, which leads into the loop, which
Yeah,
is
either it's that or has like a little booster thing. Yeah, I
something.
think that's what.
That's a fantastic roller coaster.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
It's a fantastic roller coaster. I want to go.
Need to go on more roller coasters. I love roller
I want
coasters.
to go to Disneyland. I mean, my favorite roller coaster, and this is really on a tangent, is Goliath at Six Flags Magic Mountain here in California. It's just a masterpiece. It's just tall and fast, just fast as fuck, and it's just amazing. Just the best.
Anyway,
My improv teacher
Shall we get
almost
on to
fell
our
out of
topics?
Goliath.
What? We're gonna talk about what?
do we want to get to our topics?
I guess so. So, like I said, every week we have four main topics, I guess you want to say. We have this little intro where we talk about ourselves, what we've been doing. We talk about video games. We're going to talk about other media things, and then we're going to talk about the hot pot, which is a rotating, changing topic every week.
That is going to be secret until we get to the hot pot.
Yes, I'll make sure it's a secret this time.
Hot pot
Thank
is.
you.
I won't spoil it. So, our first topic, or I guess second topic, is about video games. And I had one particular story that I wanted to bring up. I know Thomas and he wanted to talk about too. And that is actually an article that came out today, 6/27, on Eurogamer. So go check it out on Eurogamer. It's written by this guy, Wesley Yin Poole, over there. So go check it out. I'll try to put the link to it in the description so you guys can, go over there, read the whole thing, give them a link. But the short and sweet of it was that the PS4 guys, Layden and Cerny, were talking about the crossplay issues, in particular with Fortnite. Because for those of you that don't know, and it's kind of a bit of most gamers know now, if you have your Epic account, the guys who make Fortnite, connected to your PlayStation 4, it won't work. It locks you out of using that same account on the Xbox or on the Nintendo Switch, which is kind of BS. We'll get in a bigger discussion about it, but basically this article was saying that these two guys over at Sony know people are upset and they're looking into it. Not a lot. The official statement Layden said is we're hearing it. We're looking at a lot of the possibilities. You can imagine that the circumstances around that affect a lot more than just one game. I'm confident we'll get to a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community while at the same time supporting our business. Which is very much, it's just that's a non-answer, sadly.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
at least it's
But that's an acknowledgement.
exactly, which I think is important. So I'm just kind of curious what your guys' thoughts on this whole this whole debacle is, and B, kind of what they think here, what they
I think
say
it's
about here.
silly. I think it's silly because it's gotten to a point where they're starting to realize that the backlash is costing them more than what they would lose in sales by just letting them fucking do crossplay.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
But do we? I mean, I figure they would have to have some sort of metrics on that, because at least from everything I've heard, is that the big reason they're not doing it. I know somebody else who used to work for Sony said the reason they're not doing it is because they don't want people, spending money on an Xbox and then unlocking those skins. Let's say we're just sticking with the Fortnite example here, and then using those on the PlayStation, and therefore because of that, they
In a
they're
vacuum,
losing out.
I understand that. Like, I understand that mentality, and I get it. But then I feel like if you step back one further, if all three of them are in that same boat, then it's almost like a truce of just like, okay, Sony fans will be on the Sony, the Nintendo fans will be on the Switch, etc., and just kind of know that, and they'll lose some, but they'll gain some, and it's just like in the theme of the game, like gaming, best for the gamers and also the game itself. Their fans will be pissed at them because they can't play with their friends on the other console. It's just causing more issue than money they're saving, in my opinion. I don't know, but I don't have any data on that.
Yeah,
I
neither do we.
agree with Thomas in the wide spectrum of things, but like I understand how like that's a tough thing, especially whenever over all these years you've made like a dedication to like this is the way that we're going to do it because this is the way that works and this is the way that gets us money. It's hard to convince shareholders at this point now. It's harder to convert shareholders over to be like, well, now this is the way that it's going to work. It's like the opposite of what we've been doing essentially. So that could be part of the issue. I'm not saying that it is, but
Yeah,
I understand
I
what
think.
you're saying. The way this is the way it's always been, and it's been working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think you guys both bring up an interesting point here. Is that the idea of oh man, I can't even think of the words now. They're not coming to
they're
me.
not coming to you.
No, but so the idea that oh my god, I'm completely blanking. This is you guys talk for a
believe in
second.
you.
Well, I believe I can fly.
Hey Thomas,
Wait, what did we say? Let's work backwards here.
how's that back end stuff going for you?
Oh, dude, it's good. I'm all up in the back end right now, actually. I'm
Good.
looking at the back end. I have a clear image of what's going on.
Good, good.
Okay. I think I got it. Please send me your strength. It's like the spirit. It's like the spirit
Matt,
bomb.
You
Send
shall
prayers.
remember.
The basic.
What is happening?
You're sending me my strength, so I can remember what I wanted to say. No,
Okay.
the thing I was saying was that you guys had the point that people are going to play wherever they want to play, and they're going to play with their friends. And I think honestly, opening up to crossplay actually pushes Sony's narrative forward, and because Sony's narrative really has been, we want to be the place you play your video games on, and we have. And here's the reason why you want to do it. We have the best console, we have the best operating system, we have the best online service, and we have the best first-party games. We have the best exclusives. So
Like that's their goal. That's what
exactly.
they're striving
Have you ever
Yeah.
met somebody who went, oh, you know what? I mean, and maybe there's data otherwise, but at least for the hardcores who this is really to pander to anyways, they go, I buy a PlayStation because I like Uncharted and I like God of War, or people buy an Xbox because they go, I like Halo. You don't, or all my friends play on it. So I don't think it's really can't have changed that much if they go crossplay. The people who play on PlayStation are going to play on PlayStation. Even if, let's say, tomorrow that they go full crossplay, and we're all PlayStation guys mostly, but I know some people who are more Xbox people. I have some of my friends at work who play Fortnite play on Xbox.
This is an interesting point.
If there's crossplay, I'm still gonna play on PlayStation. I prefer the controller. I prefer the layout. I think everything works better versus. And I'll play with them against Xbox. Right now, if I wanted to play with them, I would have to either go jump on my computer, which is actually the best way to play it, or to play or download it on my Xbox. I'm lucky enough to have both of them, and I really
So
think
they could be losing initial sales just because by not doing crossplay, the pool outside is so much bigger that everyone's like, well, I could play with all these other people if I get it on this platform, and I'm only can play with my Sony friends over here.
I mean, but I think the thing is that
Sure.
most of the games that are that we want crossplay for, they're on both, Xbox and Sony, so you're not going to make a decision to buy that system based on the game. No one's going to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox, at least previous to this, based on, oh man, and Sony and Xbox both have Fortnite. That's going to be my deciding factor into buying one or the other. They're going to look at other things for it. Now, though, they've backed themselves into a corner where they're going to start. People are going to start saying, "Well, I can't play Fortnite with my friends who are on my Switch if I'm buying on PlayStation." So, I'm kind of torn between the two, but I kind of like PlayStation a bit better. But all my friends really want to play
Crossplay.
Fortnite, and
If all these games are going towards crossplay and Sony's the one who's not allowing it, then you're like exactly what you said. Yeah.
Yeah, you're pulling yourself out of the market essentially.
yeah, for the people that care about that, and I think that's a large portion of it because I would prefer to play all those things on PlayStation. But right now, if I was going to go play a console version of Fortnite, I'd probably play on the Xbox or my Switch. I'm sorry, I'm a dirty gamer. I have everything.
I mean, I like it, but that's probably because I'm your roommate.
I know you appreciate it. So, any other, I guess, thoughts, concerns, worries, questions on that? Do you guys want to bring up?
I think I like that they acknowledged it because even though you said it's like kind of a generic response, at least it means they know there's something going on, which is better than nothing. I'm just waiting for Lucasfilm to do the same thing. Just kidding. Never mind.
Oh
We're
my
not talking about that, Thomas.
Sorry,
No Star Wars hate. It is. I do need to rewatch it.
Veto.
Well, stop.
Veto.
Stop. Back up. Rewind 10 seconds.
Cutting it.
Rewind.
It's out.
I'm just saying that I think all I'm saying is that I appreciate the acknowledgement because that is something more than nothing. That is a step in the direction.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
I think that's a good thing. I think for those of you who are watching this, keep making a stink over it, on Reddit, on Twitter, keep complaining to Sony. The louder our voices are, just like with everything, the more the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And the more we complain and the more we make sure they know that, I'm moving over to Xbox, I'm moving over to mobile or to Switch or to the PC because of this, it's going to make it easier for them to make that change. So the more data they have to back it up, don't buy stuff on PlayStation if you can't. Go buy it on mobile. Go buy it on other ones. And that should, hopefully, over time help us out. It may not be for Fortnite, but maybe it's the game after Fortnite. After Fortnite that helps out. Oh, I'm just burping up a storm tonight. It's fantastic.
Diet Coke, baby.
I haven't had Diet Coke since like noon.
Oh, I don't know. I was just imagining. Diet soda makes me burpy, dude. I don't know why. Maybe is it more bubbles or is it just in my head?
I have no idea. It might just be in your head.
Okay.
I don't know. So,
yeah, probably.
You wanted to, Thomas, talk about something on Overwatch that you know about that we don't know about because we're not Overwatch fanatics like you?
Well, today's the first day. Okay, well, you guys will enjoy this. Okay, they made a lot of changes. I think it went live yesterday as of the time of recording, but I didn't see it until today because I've been pulling away from that game a little bit. However, they added some new social endorsement systems and looking for group like role queue. So you can basically, when you're queuing for matches, I haven't tried the role queue yet, but you can basically have some sort of preference for what role you're going to play, and that will affect your matchmaking so you don't run into a situation of hopefully not all DPS in one Hank or all DPS in one, you know what I mean?
Let me just stop you right there because I'm a big WoW player, and they've been using the looking for group system for years in there. And the thing is with WoW, and just as an example here, for WoW is if let's say you choose to be a tank, it locks you into being a tank. You cannot change, to my knowledge, away from being... No, that doesn't sound right. I think in LFR, looking for raid, it does that where you have to be the that kind of
that player,
that role. I think. I mean, I always do it, but I've definitely seen where people try to mess with it, and it shows up in all sorts of different queues, and people can do it. But you're gonna see people sign up for tank or healer because they're gonna get faster queues, and they're gonna play Hanzo.
Yeah, that will happen. But there's a thing that launched in tandem with that may be a short-term deterrent, and that is an endorsement system. So there's now a social endorsement system after games where you can rate people for having a better attitude or being a better team player. And
League of Legends tried that.
I'm not sure how it's going to work out because today it seems like everyone's on their best fucking behavior. But I don't know how long it's going to last, dude. But it's the three categories are sportsmanship, like it's basically a good attitude one. The generic one, which is like good teammate, which I guess could be for playing well or for being flexible. It doesn't specify. And then the last one is like shot caller. So those are the three ways you can endorse. You get 3 per match, I guess. And I don't know if it affects your queues or not, but I imagine it could in the future. So that's a thing they're trying, like social feedback.
So if you're playing Overwatch, don't be a raging dick.
That's the general gist of it. Oh, and new Symmetra's crazy, and they're gonna give Sombra infinite stealth.
What?
Crazy idea. But maybe if you're playing any game, you just shouldn't be a dick.
Well, that we know that, but sometimes you have to tell other people because there's a lot of really angry 12-year-olds out there. Their body chemistry starting to changing. They're finding hair in weird places. Girls give them, weird feelings in the pit of their stomach, and they're just angry and have to take it out on somebody. Now they're gonna.
They should be playing video games.
Individuals understand that, but people don't. People are dicks.
Yes.
Individuals can be chill, but people, they're anonymous people online. I had somebody just yesterday say, "It's the internet. I'm allowed to be a dick." This is a quote directly from a game prior to the endorsement system.
Oh my god! Jeez, it's just the absolute dirt worst. So, anything else you guys wanted to talk about when it came to video games?
I want to cover just one quick little snippet since I have an unhealthy obsession with VR.
Is it the knuckle controllers?
No, but those are really freaking cool. Definitely need to do a little bit more research on those. Also, Oculus just released a new video. It's like 30 minutes long of them discussing their process of getting to the Half Dome. which is really cool.
I didn't understand the word you said. Getting to the what?
Half
Getting to
dome.
the Half Dome. The Half Dome is their current
That's what
beta.
that's what Miles got in college. The half dome.
Yes, but it's their foveated like display, so it actually has moving lenses inside of the mask or inside of the headset that do eye tracking. So if you look at something close up, the lens actually changes to make it so that becomes your focus point.
So it's literally moving inside the headset with your eyes, so it keeps it like perfectly immersive to your eye movement.
Yes.
Holy
So
balls,
That's really cool.
dope.
and the really neat thing is that like right now, if you took a book in VR and tried to read it, like the closer you got to the book, the blurrier it would get and would just suck.
Yeah.
This is going to completely eradicate that. It's going to
Oh.
make it that no matter where something is spatially to you, it's focused like real life.
Oh,
Holy balls. And then once they
that's
get the
dope.
resolution small enough, that's gonna be nasty.
And like they're even talking about like how this is going to change in the future, and like what their plans are about making it non-mechanical, so it happens instead using like
Projection or something.
lens warping and like multi screens that would be inside of the headset. Like it's crazy, like 3 screens per eye or something like that. But
Like you'd have a specific focus to see one screen, and then like a different focus to see a different screen.
essentially, yeah, like whenever your eyes naturally adjust to look at something, it would actually, they'd be using a lens that it didn't even have to track your eyes. The lens would just, like, based off of your, like, iris, like your focus point, you would see a different layer of the lens, which would make
Yeah.
that part in focus and everything else blurred.
Ah, it's
Like,
crazy.
it's crazy technology, but that's actually not what I was going to get into either. What I wanted
Imagine
to get into,
if they had a Retina display equivalent resolution in something like that, where you, to a point where you can't see the Retina display in meaning
that'd
you
be-
can see the pixels.
yeah, I mean we're getting there. It's baby steps, but they might as well be, giant leaps for mankind, because we're so fresh and new into the technology that, like, it's every couple of months we're going leaps and bounds, and that's only what they're telling us, the public.
Yeah.
Where they're probably at in their labs is infinitely further than that.
Oh yeah, definitely. But what was it that you wanted to specifically bring up?
I
yeah,
was just going to bring
sorry.
up- No, it's okay. Actually, starting next month, July 12th, I just got introduced to this game today. It's called Seeking Dawn, and it's going to be a VR game on Steam, I believe, but it should be Rift and Vive compatible. And it is, for a studio that I've never heard of, it's looking pretty nice.
Is that the shooter one?
It is the shooter, yeah.
I've
It's got some
heard-
interesting
heard-
motion mechanics.
I've heard there's some worry with that game though, and I think that was just all people like looking at the videos and stuff. Were like, yeah, it looks like it could be really cool, but like it looks a little bit too impressive for a studio this size, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, it's trying
so
to not believe the
Yeah.
the promises.
people are getting worried, especially ever since what is No Man's Sky. Like,
Well,
so people are worried. But the
You also have
the
to
big thing is,
you also have to compare it, in my opinion, a game like that to Stormland, which is Insomniac's game. Insomniac is a legitimate AAA top tier developer, and that game, the smaller game, looks better than Stormland. And I mean, Insomniac's one of the best VR companies right now, and just one of the best video game companies, in my opinion. And it looks better than Stormland, at least graphics wise. I just don't think it's going to run that well. And I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong.
Same. But I think that it'll be the nice things is that there's really no reason for the studio to lie, because they didn't do like any prepaid anything. So, that what you
Oh, I see what
pay
you're
for is going to be what you get. So they can't really afford to lie. So hopefully they aren't.
Well, maybe they're lying. I think the ones that I heard was that the game's going to sputter real bad.
You just think so. It's basically the concern that it's got the graphics are so good that it's not gonna have a really bad frame rate or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's probably not going to have a good frame rate. But what
Unless
I
they
can
came up with some
say-
sort of new engine or something.
Maybe that'd be dope.
Yeah, they might have. Well, because like I'm watching a gameplay video from like a test demo of it from May 2017, and there's definitely some stuttering. Like I can see it, but like especially if they were aware of it back then it's hopefully something they've addressed by like reworking the code, making sure that everything functions. But I do know that they had like closed beta, and there's a lot of people in the forums are like, hey, I'm still under NDA until this game actually releases, but what I can say is that like this is like the first big title that we're going to be getting. They say it's 20 hours of gameplay, and it has co-op.
Okay.
So, I mean,
We'll then look at it. If it once it comes out, if it's any good, we'll probably get it. Maybe we'll do some playthroughs of it, and we'll have to talk about it on here.
yeah, we'll touch back on it in the future.
Frola's point reminded me of something that maybe we should talk about maybe next week. There's I think the company's called Euclidean or Euclideon,
That sounds
and
familiar.
it's like an Australian developer, and
Yes.
they're making they have some sort of new engine or new methodology for 3D where they're promising almost infinite detail. There's like some sort of new way of drawing 3D objects with points that is so much faster to process that it would increase graphics exponentially,
Well,
which
why
is
don't-
kind of relevant to what you're saying.
Why don't we do some research on it? We'll come back. We'll talk about it next week because we're starting to get a
Yeah.
little long on
Yeah.
time here. On
Yeah.
Well,
We'll
I
head
mean,
off to
anyways,
the next topic.
I'm just saying, but that's something we
But I
can-
agree.
that was
I
a pretty
actually
dope one.
know. I know a lot about that company, so I look forward to talking about that.
Sweet. So our third topic, I guess, is our other media topic. Today we're doing something a bit different than last week, where I honestly can't remember what we did last week, but I had the three of us read Hiro Mashima. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. His new manga. This is the same author who did Fairy Tail, Rave Master before that. Very well-known guy. People really like his stuff as a general rule of thumb. And he, more importantly, he loves his job so much. If you ever see the stuff he posts on Twitter and talks about it, he loves doing his job. So it's a new manga. It's called Eden Zero. You can actually watch. It's being simulpubbed on Crunchyroll, so you can read it legally here in the U.S. You don't have to go find one of those illegal sites, which is fantastic. I'll see if I can put a link to that as well in it. And yeah, so we all read the first chapter, and it's like 87 pages, which is very long for those of you guys who don't read manga. Usually they're like 20 to 30 pages, usually closer to about the 22 to 25 range. So 80 chapters is a lot.
So I've got to build it up.
Yeah, his next chapter 2, he said, is going to be 50-something chapters. I think 56 they said. And I'll tell you, I really enjoyed the first chapter, but it was very, very much this is the first chapter.
Yeah,
For sure.
it definitely felt like the first chapter, and it was my first chapter reading manga.
Is this your first time ever reading a manga?
Yeah, I've read the light novels but that's a book. And that's the different
it's a
thing.
book.
Yeah. So that's my first time reading manga, so this will be the first manga for me. Is that how you say it?
Well, I have no idea. That's how we're
Okay,
that's how we're
For
saying
today,
it.
that's how we're saying it. Anyways, yeah, that was interesting. But it definitely felt like the first episode. They were basically setting up their here. I don't even know what the world is because the nature of the first episode, they left it.
Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna talk spoilers in this, so don't worry about like not spoiling things. It's only the first chapter out.
Okay.
Anyone can read it easy enough.
That's true.
It's not like we're 100 chapters in. We're spoiling the big reveal 100 chapters in.
Yes, the
so,
first episode.
people can sit down, pause this, read it. It'll take them 10-15 minutes, and then they'll get back to it. 81
So
pages.
pause here if you don't want any spoilers.
Yeah, if you don't want any spoilers, pause here. And we're gonna get
Skip
into
ahead for minutes.
probably like 10-ish minutes. So I'll see if I can put a time frame for where the spoilers were for this. But yeah, I really liked it. I like the two main characters, Rebecca and Shiki.
Yes.
Mhm.
They were fantastic. Happy's back, which Happy's a character in Fairy Tail. I'm going.
Oh, that's the same cat?
We don't know. It's a blue cat that looks the same and has the same name.
No, we do. Yeah, it does definitely have the same name.
Didn't he also reuse the name Shiki?
Yeah, he did. He said
What was
if
that
you
name?
I don't remember what it was from before. I think it was from Rave Master, which you guys have never seen anything on, but I've read all the way through. But I'm of the opinion personally that this is the same Happy as from Fairy Tail. He's just a lot older, and that Rebecca is the daughter or granddaughter of Natsu and Lucy from Fairy Tail. That's my personal headcanon until I'm told otherwise. For those of you that don't know, it's more spacey than Fairy Tail or Rave Master, where she's in a ship, she's jumping around different planets, the multiverse, and I could definitely see it being that that they figured out how to do this is the mages in the Fairy Tail land, Fiore, and they're jumping around, and she's their granddaughter trying to do everything that they're doing. It would make sense for Lucy's granddaughter or daughter to want to do silly stuff like this, trying to get subscribers as we're trying to do. Ooh.
Well, yeah, right. Hey, why don't you like, comment, subscribe?
Hey, yeah.
Wait,
ooh.
okay, so the girl shows up to this theme park place,
Mhm.
right? And it's a robot theme park on which this kid has been raised by
By the
himself.
robots. Yeah, by the
By
robots.
the robots. But he's also been trained to fix the robots. But it also implied that the robots can't fix each other. They need a human to fix them.
Correct.
Because without him, they will perish.
Well, no, they're going to perish either way. Their batteries only have a limited lifespan. It's like their hearts, their batteries. And so at the end of it, their batteries start to die, and that's why they all start to fall apart and die at the
At
end.
the exact moment he left?
They knew it was going to be soon. That's why they did that's why they had this plan and why they did it then.
And she came at the exact moment they
Shush.
were
That is
about
kinda
to
Shush,
strange, yes.
shush. You got to suspend disbelief a little bit.
It
Shush.
also could just
No,
be.
I was just seeing if this was some sort of clue. I'm not
It
hating on it.
It also very well may be, because we still don't know. He just said his grandfather died, who was the Demon Lord. We don't know anything else about him beyond that.
Yeah, he's a
At-
Demon King, right? And the other king, Devil King, Demon King,
Is
Was it
Demon
Devil King?
Demon King or Demon Lord? They're kind of just depends. I think it just depends on how you want to translate it from Japanese.
Mhm.
So 'cause I don't know Japanese, I haven't seen it, but I would assume either one's probably right.
Okay, but then there was a new king.
Well,
at
no,
least
no,
he
no.
looked like he
That
looked
was
like the Burger King
that
guy.
was the king. That was the king of like the human robots, and then there's the Demon King, who's like the bad guy. Who like that's one of the quests you could go on was go and slay the Demon King.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Mhm.
Gotcha, but he died because he got. But they all looked up to the Demon King as actually.
Yeah, because they were all friends. They were all robots. It was like being part of their. It's kind of Westworldy that they were all kind of actually friends, and so they were just putting on. It was like being part of a live
A show
play.
for the
Exactly.
guests.
All right, okay. So I'm gonna lay it down. I think this is what happened.
Okay. Drop some truth bombs. Kaboosh.
They still totally had more battery left, but since they actually achieved what they wanted to do, they just
They just shut
decided
down.
best to just shut down because he was the only reason they were staying alive, anyways.
You know what? I bet
That
you.
makes.
I bet you that's
that-
right, because he'll come back after he has 100 friends, and they'll all reactivate, and he'll have a way of getting to stay alive longer. They'll go to meet all his 100 friends.
Is 100 a specific number or just?
It
more
says
friends?
100 in the manga. It says he's going out to the multiverse to meet 100 friends.
Oh, I took that just to mean a lot. I didn't know because they said that there was some theme about getting friends, and she cried, and so he wanted to be her friend.
Yeah, the grandfather had said that anyone who's willing to cry for you is someone you should make a friend. It's like
Okay.
it's like a friend you shouldn't get rid of.
A friend you should keep or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so and he's like, I'm gonna keep her.
Yeah, the author's all into the power of friendship. It's
Is
his
she giving
thing.
off any arena vibes to anyone else? Because I was like getting the mad arena vibes.
Oh no,
Just-
she has a completely different personality.
not personality wise. I just meant physical wise.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I
She
mean,
looked like
if anything, those characters are based. Fairy Tail's been around a lot. Fairy Tail was around a lot longer before
I'm not
Food
saying
Wars
she's actually
was.
based on it. They just look the same.
Yeah, I mean, very possibly. The two of them look almost just like the main characters of Fairy Tail, which look almost just like the two main characters of Rave Master. He just he just likes to reuse character models. But if you actually go look at, like, let's say the first chapter of Fairy Tail versus the last chapter of Fairy Tail, his art style really evolved through it. So I'm really curious where the art's gonna go from there, because he enjoys drawing the ladies. Oh, he does.
God, Damn it, Matt.
He does. You don't see. I'm on the Fairy Tale subreddit, and you're like, oh, the author just posted this picture, and you're like,
you said miladies.
I didn't say. I
The
said
lady.
I said the ladies.
Oh, thank God.
I did not
The
say
ladies,
ladies. No.
not
Oh
the
God.
lady.
I would never say
I
that.
could like hear a fedora growing out of your head.
Oh God, no. I'd rather lose it and shave it all off.
But there were a couple frames of that that were very much like, this is an interesting
No.
choice of
The
angle.
ladies. Yes. No. The author, Mashima. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering it. He likes drawing his female characters a lot, and he does it constantly on Twitter. And he's constantly just posting like sketches he made and stuff like that aren't ever going to get into it. So he loves his job. And it's one of those things that if you're going to read something like this, you just kind of need to accept that there's going to be a lot of fan service, but not
Oh, I
too
see.
much. Like teen level fan service is probably the best way to put it. It's not like there's boobs out everywhere, but it's
It didn't feel like crazy much. There were just a couple frames in there where it was like a little bit extra. I was like, oh, okay, that's a thing.
it's like that constantly. If you ever sit down and read or watch Fairy Tale, which the new season will be starting soon, you'll see he enjoys doing it. Good for him. It keeps him happy and helps keep the creative juices flowing.
And other juices. Oh,
No one's next to you to high five you, dude.
mental up top. Fans, give me an up top. Yeah.
So my question to you guys is: are you guys going to keep reading this? And
Probably, yeah.
I'm gonna read the next chapter. I'm curious. I just want to know. That's all. I'm just gonna read one more chapter. That's it. I'm just
well,
gonna see.
I mean, after that, you have to see what happens after that, then too, though.
We'll see chapter by chapter.
And this is coming from the guy that refuses to read the Food Wars manga.
Oh, I won't read Food Wars manga. Oh, but when the okay, is it done though? Is the season done?
The season's done.
There's
For
no
now.
there's no like break and coming back. It's done.
We might be talking about that in a second, but no, there's no break for this. I mean, it will come back, I would assume, at some point. You just don't never know, though. I mean, it could be we could get another chapter, we get another series next year. We get another series in 10 years. There's Full Metal Panic that's going on right now, the anime, which is the 3rd season of it, which has been literally a decade, 10 years since the last season, and they're finally coming back to it. I think there's a new Toaru Mujutsu no Index season coming up soon, which it's been like 6 or 7 years since that one came back, and that's one of the most popular light novels in Japan, or at least it was for a very, very, very long time. So you just never know. The purpose of these anime is to help sell more manga volumes, so you just never know.
Oh man. Well, okay, I might end up reading it. I don't know.
So I know I'm definitely going to keep reading it because I'm going to force you guys to read it because I read all of his stuff that I could find, at least, and I think it's really fun, and it's kind of got to turn your brain off a little bit for it, particularly when you only fight. Like, how did that person beat that person in fights? But at the end of the day, it's fun enough. You like the characters enough where you want to keep reading, keep watching. So I'm excited to continue this. Hopefully, we'll get it in maybe a couple years. Get an anime. We can start watching and reviewing for that as well.
I was imagining how the anime might go when I was reading it. I was like trying to imagine it in that way, like.
Oh, that first chapter. He purposely made that chapter an anime episode length because the first chapter of Fairy Tale is the first episode of Fairy Tale as well. They're
That's what I
almost
thought. Because
exactly
it
the
felt
same.
like exactly like an episode. This seems longer than it should be. This is like an entire episode. Is what
Yeah.
it felt like.
I'm pretty sure he does that on purpose because it makes it easier to sell it as an anime later on. We say, hey, this is literally the pilot. So he's piloting not only the manga series, but he's piloting the anime series at the exact same time. So it's really smart from a guy who's done this. This is his 3rd probably major serialization. I mean, other people have done them multiples as well, or just one really long one, but he keeps going with it. So I'm excited. You can't hear it in my voice, but I'm really excited. I love this. It's been 11 months since Fairy Tale ended.
Excited.
I am very excited. So anything else on this? Anything else, guys, you want to talk about on this, or should we go into the hot pot?
Oh my god! I wonder what the surprise
on the hot
part
pot?
is.
Yeah, we're on the hot pot already.
What time is it? How much time has it been?
It's
Don't look
been
at-
about
don't look at your
it's
clock.
been about 40 minutes.
All right, hot pot baby.
Hot baby.
Some of you are arriving at work now, but you're gonna wish that you would listen to this hot pot part.
Hot pot. So
Okay,
we
get hot, so
have
hot.
what we're doing is a little bit different than last week's Hot Pot, where we talked about water parks. Today we're going to go through the listing of the summer 2018 anime that's all coming out. Say, the ones we're excited for, the ones that we might know about, might not know about. Maybe just talk about some of them. I know a lot more about a lot of these than I'd like to admit. But I'm going to be admitting it in a second. So we have a list up here through them.
This is going to be my newbiest. I have the manga and anime I know the least about, but I am enthusiastic about the parts that I do know.
Yeah, but so
Kick it off with the most important thing on the entire list. Swim's getting Free's getting a new season.
Yes, Free is getting a new season. I will not be watching it.
Neither will I, but maybe we'll be able to watch 50% off.
This is Free. Dive to the future. This is based off this is based off a light novel. So for those who don't know, Free is a slice of life sports show about a swimming club in college, and it is as homosexual as it sounds. People,
It's wonderful.
People love it. I'm glad they love it, and there's a really, really funny parody of it called 50% Off
50%
on YouTube,
off. It's the best thing
which
in the
is
world.
absolutely hysterical, where they just take the show and they just recut it and redub it, and everyone's like gangsters, and like it's fucking hysterical.
Wait, what? Is that like the Aeronauts like
Yes.
Star Wars thing that they redo
Yes.
it?
Yep.
And just...
It's so good, Thomas. I'll show it to you next time you're over.
It's
Okay.
it's hysterical. So
I'll check it out.
that's of course the most important one, but the second most important one is we're getting the next core COUR of Boku no Hero, aka My Hero
Yes.
Academia. Oh,
What is core?
Core?
Core.
So COUR, core, is how they describe TV shows, because generally in Japan each series is 12 episodes.
Okay.
And that's considered a one core show. If it's a two core, and I'm probably butchering this pronunciation as well, it's 24 episodes.
Okay,
No,
so
20
a 2-core thing is 24, and those are the ones that seem
Yeah.
like the long seasons.
Exactly. I mean, this is actually 25 episodes, so it's a 12 and a 13 or a 13 and a 12. But it's basically it goes through half a year. It's 6 months of showing. But I'm so excited. The next arc, because I've been reading it, is fantastic. It's going to really push the story forward. It makes a lot of sense. And for those who've never watched My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero, whether you like anime, whether you hate anime, it is absolutely
It's good.
fucking fantastic.
It really is good.
it's-
Even if you don't like anime, I can say that for sure.
Yeah, even if you don't like superheroes, it's a great superhero show for those that don't like superheroes. It's so fantastic.
So you're saying that so this season is over, but when the next season comes out, it's going to be 2 cores. Is that
Well,
what?
no. This season is 2 core. This is just saying this is the continuation of the third season. It actually looks like we get episode 13 over the weekend, and then
So we just finished the first core, and now this is going to the next.
and then there'll
okay.
be a week break, and then there'll be the next basically 12 episodes will show up.
Gotcha.
Because I'm looking, there's a little timer on all this. So, like the next Boku no Hero episode 13 is in 2 days. Some of these other ones are in 10 days. Some of them are in 15 days. So, we're looking at about a week and a half until the next set of these start. Anything?
That's dope because it just got so good.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's so good, and it just continues to be good, and it continues to get better, and it's fantastic, and I'm just so excited.
It's gonna be so amazing.
So you're behind too, and you get caught up, you little bastard. Okay, so the next one we have, which I can't really say much about it personally because I hate this show, is Shingeki no Kyojin, which is, what's the English translation for that? Do you guys remember? Attack on Titan. I hate Attack on Titan.
Sweet Jesus, Thomas, we're not going through this entire list one by one.
No, we're not gonna go through all of them. We're gonna go through the important ones.
Sorry, I meant Matt.
This one's an important one that lots of people like, and I want to point out that it's there. I hate it. Don't watch it. It's terrible. You should feel bad if you like it.
Don't watch it, but if you like it, you're getting a new season.
There
Well,
you
I
go.
have to.
There it is.
Woo. There's Steins Gate Zero is coming out, which I haven't watched. I need to watch Steins. It's like this. It's the second half of the season, dude. You haven't watched the first half.
How far down the list is the video game girl or whatever it is? High score girl.
Which one?
Oh my god, it's like a new anime, high score girl or something like that.
I don't know.
Where's the list? Give me the link.
Give you the link? Fine. For all of a sudden, link. I don't want to mess up with the recording. The next one we have that furls me and I'm very excited about is Overlord Season 3 is starting. Madhouse is doing it. Madhouse is fantastic. I love the shit that they do, and Overlord is just getting better, and it's getting darker, and more people are dying, and I love everything about it. And yes, it's based off a light novel. You can buy the light novels on Amazon, actually. I haven't personally read them, but I have them on my phone to read at some point, and I will. And Overlord's great. It's one of the sekais, but the main character is kind of evil, which is nice.
I love it so much, but he's not really at the same time.
He's
supposed to be evil, but he's
more like chaotic, like lawful neutral, maybe, if we were to use the D&D terms. So there's that one. There's another one I have to point out because I've read a bit of the light novel, which is the Isekai Mao to Shoken Shouju Do. I don't know the full. Basically, I started reading this one. It's terrible. It's really, really, really fan servicey. I might try it, but the main character is very, very, very cringy. He gets summoned to this other world by a busty elf and a cute cat girl, and they're like, "You're now our familiar," and he gets summoned as a demon that he was playing in this video game MMO he was playing, and he's so socially awkward he cannot talk to them unless he's role playing this douchey demon lord, and it's terrible, and you shouldn't watch it.
Okay, good to know.
So good to know.
But I'm just enjoying the description.
Yes. I read the first volume was like, I'll give it another shot. Sometimes these things change after volume. Second volume was the same, and I was like, I'm done. Next, the Persona 5 animation. Just play the video game. The video game is fantastic. After that,
I agree with that.
Yeah. After that, we have Yuragi So no Unison. I've actually read some of this manga. It's based off manga. It's pretty funny. It's pretty basic. It's basically this main character is this high schooler who is able to see ghosts and stuff, and he ends up staying at this inn with a bunch of other ghosts. It's fairly harmless, fun, kind of silly stuff, where his roommate's a cute ghost girl. It's fine. I'm gonna give it a shot. The anime a shot. I kind of want to keep reading the manga because I didn't get far enough in the manga to really have a idea as to what the main issue is. So either it's gonna keep being a whole bunch of nothing, and I would drop it, or if there's gonna be some sort of actual issue they have to solve, more so than just exercising her spirit successfully. So there's that one. The other one is this. Basically, it's probably going to the top 3 lines ish. That one didn't really bother me. I don't know anything about this one.
First start for the FLCL. The new season of Fully Cooley is coming out, and I'm really excited.
No, it's not. Episode 5 is coming out. It comes out in 3 days. You've also not been watching that. The other one, which is this one, Hyakuren no How to Sekai no Valkyrie, which is something Ragnarok. It's kind of Norse mythology-ish. I started reading it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the main character. He's supposed to be more of a smart main character than a strong main character. He just didn't seem that smart. He just kind of had a cheat with him, and it didn't. And I'm okay with all those sorts of things, those kind of power fantasy ones. This one just, I don't know. For me, it just didn't do it. If you like those kind of stories, I would say give it a shot, but it wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
So worth looking into. And then, as Frola said, there's Fully Cooley Progressive. Next season's coming out. There's something Fate Extra related, which Fate Extra Last Encore. So that could be interesting. The Fate stuff's usually pretty good. Trying to see if there's anything else of particular interest to me. There's more Gintama's coming out.
Thomas!
Fantastic. Thomas, sorry, I know you're bored because you don't know any of this shit.
I'm not bored. I'm just listening.
Moyo to Ruji no Moritsu Sudan by Studio Dean. I don't know how to pronounce it. God.
How far down is it?
It sounded interesting. It's 5 lines down, 4 lines down. Let's see. 1, 2.
Sorry, we have on our end. We have a little. What's near it that you can pronounce?
6, 7. It's 7 lines down. It's by Banana Fish. Haruruku Saibu.
What are the other animes near it?
I just said 2 of them.
Say one more time.
Banana Fish, Haruroku Sabu.
Oh, is this the Muho to Roji one, the Studio Dean?
Yeah, it
Ah.
looks cute. I like the idea of it.
We're literally just seeing a whatchamacallit, we're seeing just one picture of it, and it looks not bad. Are you a victim of unwanted spirit possession? Is there a ghost you need sent up and away, or burn for all eternity? If the answer is yes, you need Myoho and Roji, experts in magic law, serving justice to evil spirits is their specialty. Yeah, that's one of those ones that could
It
end up.
sounds cute.
It could end up being fantastic, or could end up being terrible.
Yeah, but I like it. It's a good concept.
Are either of you gonna watch this one called Backstreet Girls?
Yes.
I
no.
will definitely not be. Yeah, the further down you get, mostly the less likely to be popular. I mean, Gundam Build Fighters is popular for people.
Zoids Wild.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch Zoids Wild. You know me.
Oh yeah, new Zoids.
I'm all about those Zoids. I think that's all of the ones I wanted to talk about, but I'm excited. Like I said, the big ones for me is New Boku no Hero, the More Overlord, and then the Unison one, which looks interesting to me. So I was sad there was one that was supposed to be out this season that I think got pushed back a season, or I think people were hoping it was out this season. So hopefully that'll be next season. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yami
Word.
Shibai apparently is getting a 6th season, and I've never even heard of this show.
Which show is this?
So-
Is this one towards the bottom?
It's close to the bottom. It's Yami Shibai 6th season. It's about folk tales for like Japan folklore, and I love Mushishi, so like I'm really into like these kind of one-off episodes with like history about like the supernatural in other countries and like folklore essentially. I just find it fascinating. So I think I want to try to give that a shot since apparently it's in 6 seasons. So
It's got to be good enough.
yeah.
So yeah, that's good. We'll probably do this again when the next season comes out. Maybe Thomas will actually have some stuff he can talk about. Jeez, Thomas.
What
Well,
do
Thomas,
I love my
was there
Food
anything-
Wars?
What?
I
I know.
love my Food Wars,
You
but I
do
didn't
love
hear
the Food
anything
Wars.
about a new Food Wars season.
No, because there's no Food Wars. I do think I'm hoping for next season that we're gonna get more. Either it's gonna come out or we're gonna get more information on the next season of Danmachi or Is It Wrong to Pip Girls in a Dungeon, which I've been reading. It's so fucking good. It's so good.
Thomas, was there anything from this list that caught your eye that you were like, oh, that might be interesting?
Other than Boku,
Oh,
other than Boku no Hero.
Yeah.
Well, obviously Boku no Hero, definitely. The one that High Score Girl looked interesting because it's about a guy who goes and plays video games. But now it looks like I read the little thing. It looks like it's just like a love story between a guy and some girl who kicks his ass at video games. So now I'm a little bit less excited. But I thought it was gonna be like No Game No Life, and I was all in on that.
And it's done by JC staff, so maybe it's okay. Yeah, you just the ones higher up are probably the ones that are going to be more popular and are probably going to have better are going to have better animation qualities and better stories and more well-known stuff. Because if you have to look at where they're translated from. So like High Score Girls from a manga, so you can probably find the manga. But if you go up higher, a lot of those things are light novels they're translating. There's some mangas and stuff, but anything being translated from a light novel is probably fairly decent. And then original stuff is generally pretty good as well, because they basically had a whole brand new idea with nothing backing it up and said, I have this great idea and want to make a story on it. And someone goes, that sounds like a good idea. I'm going to throw a bunch of money at that and hope it works.
Good.
So, perfect. Okay.
Alright.
I think that's really just about it for today's podcast. I think we're a bit over 50 minutes at this point. I'm going to say there may not be a show next week. I have a bachelor party to go to, and I'll be leaving.
Word.
I know. I'm going to Whistler, flying into Seattle on Wednesday. So we won't have our usual recording time. We might try to do one early. We'll figure that out on our end. But if there's not one next week, doesn't mean we're done. Just means we're on hiatus for a week. We'll try to get back. Maybe I'll see if Frola and Thomas here can just record one on their own, even if it's a shorter one. And yeah.
Oh, the mini magic. Yeah, the
Oh
short thing.
yeah.
Oh,
The tiny
yeah.
pot.
Yeah, the little tiny pot.
The mini hot pot.
The crock.
The
Yeah.
2-person.
The crock.
So
Yeah.
for those of you that stuck through
We
it the
can
whole way.
discuss the if you make a note for us to look into what's the name of that company that's doing the Point 3D, the Australian company.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Those guys.
You guys have access to all the stuff. You can just create a thing yourself as well. So, yep. For those of you that stuck around this long, this far, I appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Euclidean. Sorry.
Nailed
Euclidean geometry. Like the video, subscribe it as per usual. We should be up on podcast services relatively soon. I hope. I really hope. I'm trying to figure it out. This is all new to me, so I'm kind of running in blind, watching other people's YouTube videos and doing research to try to figure this all out. But thanks for watching. I hope you guys all enjoy your weekend, because this is going to go up on Friday again. I have more Diablo. I recorded a bunch of Diablo. It's all one episode came up this morning, Wednesday morning. I have another episode going up Saturday, and I'm going to try to do one every 3 days. I have a decent backlog now of them to do. I'll probably get another set of backlogs. I am leaving for a bit, and we'll go from there. I know Andrew, you have to edit our Dark Souls. Edit the Dark Souls.
I'm gonna do it this weekend.
Edit the Dark Souls.
It's gonna happen. Just let it happen.
Thomas is busy with personal stuff, but once that I think kind of resolves on out, he'll hopefully start making some stuff as well, more than just the podcast.
Oh, you want some Let's Plays?
I'll
Or what are we looking at? What kind of things are we talking about?
Whatever floats your boat.
Oh, yes. Cat Mario.
Anything
Yes.
that floats your boat. You've seen my videos. They're not fantastic, but anyways, like I said, guys, we're Lazy Octopus Gaming. This is the Lazy Octopus Hot Pot Podcast.
Hot Pocket.
Hot Pot Podcast. So, find us on Twitter, find us on YouTube, on Facebook. The Facebook's real sketchy right now. It's kind of a very low priority. I'm at Darth Pertinax on Twitter. We are at Lazy Octopus Game on Twitter. Thomas and Andrew, anything else you guys want to promote and or say where people can find you?
I have an Instagram. It is my name. And I made some YouTube videos at one point. You can search for that.
Ooh, that was exactly what they wanted to hear. It's very specific, Thomas. We appreciate it.
Thomas. My name is Thomas.
So he is at Thomas on Instagram. He's the only one.
No, Thomas Max Neo
Okay.
with an EAL.
Frola, anything on you?
Most of the work that I'm going to be putting out is going to be probably on this channel, and then also you can find me at the Weird Alphabet Podcast, where we go through the entire Weird Al discography in alphabetical order. Been going for 2 years. We have a shit ton of episodes.
It's absolutely fantastic.
It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, and you can find that pretty much wherever good podcasts are to be found.
Unlike us, which can only be found on YouTube at this
Get
point.
there.
It's just a matter of time. So
But, it's just a thing when you have to, do the thing get the thing going.
get the
That's
thing
right.
to get the thing to find the RSS feed, then you have to request
Dang.
iTunes, and it's a whole big
the
goddamn
whole
fucking thing.
back end issue, and right now we're having some problems with the back end.
Having some back end problems. So, anyways, we'll see you guys. We'll see all you lazy gamers next week. Hopefully, at least if not the week after. And like I said, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Good.